Hey folks, it's Farmer Marshall. Today we're going to talk about something that almost every gardener has heard of using in their garden. That's eggshells. Now maybe you're using your eggshells in the garden because your parents used to do it. That's one reason why I use it in my garden and in my compost. Or maybe you use it because a friend told you that it's good for your garden. But how many people have told you why it's good for your garden? How many people have told you the proper way to use it in your garden? Let's dig into this. Now let's be clear. And I know this might be a little bit controversial, but if you're crushing up eggshells and tossing them in your garden, it's not really doing what you want to do and how you want to do it. In fact, that eggshell that you should spread around your plant is going to take more than a day, more than a week, more than a month. In fact, it's going to take more than a year to break down and give your garden what you're trying to get out of it. And that's the calcium. But that calcium is locked away in a form called calcium carbonate. So let's talk about how to actually unlock the benefits of eggshells in your garden. Let's head over into my kitchen and get out from under this shade cloth in my garden. First step is to dry off the eggshells in a sheet pan in the oven. Not really to cook them, but maybe dry them out for 5 or 10 minutes. And that will help kill off any bacteria or pathogens or anything that's in the liner of the eggshell, such as salmonella virus. Now, once you get your eggshells out of the oven, you can take them and grind them up. Now, you can use the blender, or for me, I prefer this old coffee bean grinder. I really like it because it grinds up and it's a nice finer powder, almost like flour. So now you can take the eggshells, either whole or crush them up a little bit. And I don't know if you can tell how easily these guys are crushing up just in my hand, just from being in the oven 5 or 10 minutes. So I put them in here. Now, real time, getting the eggshells down to that took less than 30 seconds. That's why I like using an old bean grinder. Now, you might think with the texture that I have of these eggshells that now it's the perfect time to put them in the garden. But not if you want to get immediate benefit to your garden. This just isn't going to do because it has not released any calcium. And the reason why I like it ground down finer is because the finer it's ground down creates the more surface area, which makes it easier and quicker for you to process the eggshells. Now comes the fun part because I get to play mad scientist. Check this out. You want basic vinegar. This is just the cheap stuff. But basic vinegar, you want 10 parts vinegar, 1 part eggshell, mixed in a jar. And surprisingly, I almost have a half cup or a quarter cup. Not completely full, but the measurement of 10 part vinegar to 1 part eggshell does not have to be exact, even though I'm trying to be a scientist here. So you take the eggshell, put it in a jar, then you start to pour vinegar in. This is where the mad scientist takes over. Bubbling up, might even overflow. Hope my jar is big enough. And look at that. That's a chemical reaction. This is the process where the vinegar is dissolving the eggshells and breaking it down into what you really need, calcium. And look at those eggshells bouncing around. That's the reaction that you want. Why does this work? Because the vinegar reacts with the calcium carbonate and converts it into calcium acetate, which is water soluble and plant available almost instantly. Let it fizz until the bubbles stop. That means the reaction is done. This usually takes about 24 hours, so be patient. Hey folks, if you're still watching, I really do appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, treat it like a good harvest. Share it with your family, your friends, and your YouTube gardening community. While you're at it, plant a seed and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be here next time I have something going on in the garden or in the kitchen. So thanks for being here. Happy gardening, and let's get back to the video. Now, once you've made your solution, the question is always, how do I use it? Well, there are a couple ways you can use it. You can take the solution, add it to a 1 gallon of water, and pour it directly around your plants, around the roots of your plants. You can also use it as a foliar spray, where maybe you'll get one of those big 1 gallon sprayers, put water in it, and add 1 ounce solution to that, and let's use that to spray on the leaves of your plants. Both solutions work very well. Now, if your plants are showing signs of calcium deficiency, such as curling or yellowing leaves or brown spots on the fruit, this can be a great solution to help your plants bounce back. Now, I'm not saying to not add eggshells directly to your garden. Just be aware that it's going to take a while for those eggshells to break down and provide calcium to your garden or to your plants. So if you want to continue adding eggshells randomly, that's fine. What you're doing is you're building up your soil. But if you're having a problem that needs to be directed now, today, try this method. It works great, and you won't have to wait months for a plant to recover. Besides, after those several months, those plants, you might have already pulled them up because it's the end of the season. Remember, eggshells can take well over a year to break down. Using this method helps you break them down for immediate available use for your vegetable plants. And that's all you want to do. You want to help your vegetable plants now and for the future. Now, once you've treated your plants with this calcium solution, it's okay to take it and store it away for the rest of the season, because you might not need to use it a bunch of times. Or instead of using as many eggshells as I did, because I know I did make a lot, partially for video purposes, but don't use as many eggshells. Maybe use 2 or 3 instead of the 10 or 12 that I use. That way you won't have as much solution left over, and you can just get rid of it or save it for later. Now let's get out there and get a little dirty. See you next time.